We're on.
Oh, nice. But yeah, defensive line, just we gotta have dudes that can take up blocks and let these linebackers make plays. I think that's a big piece of it too. On top of defensive ends being able to get pressure, and then obviously the defensive backfield. That's a huge question mark right now. We have Taj Sanders is obviously, at least from what we know, is coming back. I mean, who knows at this point with the way that the mercenary world of the NIL and the transfer portal is at this point in time. No one's really a guarantee. Jet Elad's gone, Cam Miller's gone, Jacoby Henderson. Jacoby Henderson is coming back. Of all the cornerbacks rooms, folks, I I'm kind of sorry, Jacoby, but I'm kind of sad that you're coming back. I'd rather you have tried to go somewhere else. Um, Bo Mascow transferred. The 4-star, I don't remember his name, decided to transfer, which I think is part and parcel, obviously, because of Lowe, quarterback coach Lowe going to Cincinnati. But I think that's the number that for me, that's the third big question mark. And then I guess the elephant in the room, I'll call it one alpha, is can we get a damn defensive coordinator? Because none of that really matters until we figure out who the defensive coach is going to be, and we don't know that yet. So,
did Salam say he's coming back or returning? I mean, he's undersized. He's an athlete.
I haven't heard or read anything about him leaving or coming back. So I'd assume he's staying, I guess. But
yeah, offensive takeaways. I was glad to see Fletcher have a big game against Penn State for everything. I don't know too if the situation of Colin Weber will return or if we're in a similar offense next year. I totally agree with you with the slot. Usually utilizing Ben Black or who's going to emerge as that person. We are going to
I think the tight end piece too is Shiraka's got to find a better way to utilize our tight ends, because I feel like they were very hamstrung the first 70, probably the first 85% of the season. The only time they would get touches were those bogus rollout tight end in the flat RPOs where Ethan would either run it or he'd realize he was fucked and then throw it to them at the last second, and they'd get blown up and take a big hit for a 1.5-yard gain.
Yeah, especially Colin Weber. I mean, it seemed like he was getting hit pretty hard this season.
Yes.
Big impact. Fumbles, truck the ball, concussions.
Mm-hmm.
Who's I guess the depth in the running back room, So you have Raymond, you got Sean Benjamin, but Sam Brown goes. I think CJ Campbell, they said, entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, he's in the portal.
So I don't know then too in our recruiting pipeline who's in the roster if they'll emerge kind of to get that Teddy Byrne or what will happen with Sean Benjamin.
I just don't want to see them run Antoine Raymond into the ground.
Kind of like Monungai a little bit.
I mean, I'm not sitting. I mean, he's got the build where I objectively think that if asked and called upon, he could do it. I just think that a lot of the times from this past season, when we saw in the beginning of the game, Antoine Raymond hitting, 2 yards, 2.5 yards, excuse me, just kind of grinding it out for not a lot of, return. And then Ja'Shawn Benjamin would come in and he'd bang an 11-yard run, a 9-yard run. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, like, I'm not sitting here saying that we need to have, I think at this point in time, it's a foregone conclusion. If hopefully Antoine comes back, it's not going to be a dual-headed threat. Obviously, Antoine is going to be the guy, but that being said, it was visibly productive when we had a change of pace guy who could come in, give Antoine a second to catch his breath, get his legs back, and and sometimes it's mental too. He's just not. He's after a couple of 1 yard, 2 yard, 1 yard, 3 yards, 1 yard, 4 yards. After a while, you kind of just get kind of frustrated, and so I think it's important to have somebody that can come through, do great things, get some extra yardage, and go from there.
I know he had some depth too, like with height at the receivers. I saw a few enter the transfer portal. I know Vernon, I think, still on the team. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
three-star recruit that commit that came in, last name Cope? I forget if his first name's Arias or Eric. I mean, he was considered one of our top recruits we brought in. If he's still with the
Did
team
did
right
Michael
away,
Thomas hit the portal?
he might have. I'd have to go back and check. He might have.
Yeah, but I mean, we have dudes. We have some straight dudes behind Duff and Strong. I mean, they didn't get a really big opportunity to show it because, I mean, when you have Duff and Strong, who I think are both going to find their way into the NFL at some point in the foreseeable future. I mean, are you really going to try to play those guys? I know one of them unfortunately tore their ACL, I think, in the Norfolk State game. I think it was Michael Thomas, honestly, I think. Um, but they played well. I mean, granted, it was Norfolk State, but nonetheless, as freshmen coming in and with Serace, that was promising. I was excited for that. So I think that wide
It's,
receiver isn't a big question mark. I think the biggest part of the question mark there is who's going to take that slot role.
well, that even I know everyone's been big on Serace, but even before the season, Shannon said that third string quarterback looked great. But he was, I think he almost said,
Oh, Ashtonfelder.
yeah. So I don't know if
Hmm.
that will be a very big competition, next year in the
And
off.
we got a dude coming in behind them too for 2026, I think. Bro out of Pennsylvania. Forget his name.
Also, do you think Devontae Anderson, now that he flipped from Louisville, is someone we'll see get has a perfect opportunity, I think, to get time right away?
He's the cornerback, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a 4-star.
I mean, with Bo Masco leaving, I don't know who on this team is going to start.
But no,
That's the real. I mean, they're probably going to obviously have Jacoby Henderson, but does Kevin Levy? Does he play? Um, I haven't really looked at the two deep at cornerback because honestly I really haven't had to. We've seen the same guys. Cam Miller hypothetically could potentially come back if the NCAA federal ruling about the JUCO redshirt year gets upheld. Then he would be granted, I think, another year of eligibility. But that's obviously a toss-up, and then obviously with Bomasco leaving, the other 4-star that I hate to keep calling him the 4-star, but I just don't remember his name offhand. He obviously transferred. He's in the portal. So yeah, I mean the cornerback room is wide open, and honestly the safety room kind of is too. Taj Sanders, like I don't foresee him giving up his starting spot. Uh, but I think the opposite corner position to him is very much so in the air. I know I was always high on DK Gilly. Unfortunately, he had ACL surgery in spring camp, just gutting. So we'll see if he can come back. I know the staff was really high on him. I was always really high on him. He's a super athlete. He's very fast. Just kind of like Taj Sanders, fast dude. I just like having fast guys in the back end of your defense for one of two reasons. Is number one, having something that can't be coached, a la athleticism, helps you make up for mistakes and hide mistakes a lot easier than if you don't have that. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. I think the other safety spot's a big toss up too.
I would like to see Kaj really though emerge. I think as a
Dude,
leader.
I know because he's one
Yeah.
of the only New Jersey kids on the fucking roster.
Well, too, I don't know if he
That's the thing. That's one of the things that really
belongs.
bothered. That's one of the things that really bothered me too. Is that I feel like we're not recruiting New Jersey at all. Like,
Well,
look at the 2026 class. We don't have. We have. I don't even think we have more than 3 guys from New Jersey on the 2026 class. I'm gonna look that up because I want to fact check myself.
Yeah. You know that the what I for a while too when Brick City Lions, I really thought we were going to bring a lot of guys in. Even if you look at the NFL, think about everyone from your Rashawn Gary's, your Alquan Muhammad's, your Jonathan Taylor's. There's tons of New Jersey guys, carrying it up in the NFL. Your Jabril Peppers, and I feel like North Jersey we really can't get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we lucked out with guys with Kyle Monunga because they're not, they weren't recruited heavily.
So the 2025 class, YD Collier obviously reclassified, so he doesn't technically count in this class anymore. We have Talib Ikaba from Hillside is one of them. We got DJ McClary, who's from J City. Kamara Archie is from
Yeah.
Princeton.
Chris Vigna.
Yeah, Vignes Oradell.
Oh, that's a big one. Terrell Mitchell's actually the running back from Somerville.
Yeah, I see that.
Local.
Tom's River, Michael Thomas the third. I think this is the class. I think I'm not all right. This is the class from. This is the class that bros are already on the team. I need to see the
Yeah.
2026 class.
You know,
I always
actually,
get I always get so like thrown for a loop for like what is the actual class that I'm looking at here.
some things are
All right,
actually
here we go.
like a Matawan
We
Regional
got
High School. They were a rival. Like Jaden Elijah, the tackle they brought in. I
Dizier
played Dominic
Carter.
Gack.
Yeah, we got nobody from New Jersey on this team for 2026. We have one that I found so far. It's Cameron Green. He went to St. Augustine Prep. He clearly plays offensive line. 6'7", 315. That's a fucking boy right there. Let's go.
They got one kid. They got a kid from Colonia too. RJ Ward.
Yeah, Wortman. Yep. So we have two guys, two bros for the entire 2026 class from New Jersey. And for those of our listeners that
A lot
that
of
aren't aware, those of our listeners that are not aware, Rutgers is the state university of New Jersey. So it's problematic that we are only having two recruits out of the 2026 class that are from New Jersey. That is not good.
No, and actually, you know what? We've always had Florida ties because Shiano would go down there and recruit for speed. But actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's very alarming that, I mean, it's interesting that we pulled so many kids from Georgia, Virginia, North Carolina. If you look at that, like,
Well, that's what they keep saying about
region.
Valone. They keep calling him Hurricane Valone because he keeps going to not Florida, but like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and he keeps collecting a bunch of these recruits. And I'm not mad about it, but I think on paper, New Jersey the last 2-3 seasons hasn't had the elite studs that New Jersey usually produces, but um, like we got to recruit New Jersey. I mean, we just have to because once upon a time there's going to be some absolute monsters that come out of this state. We've seen it a million times before. You know,
But
the Jabril,
Nelson,
Jabril Peppers is the Rashawn Garys that's still playing in the NFL to this day.
Jonathan
Um,
Taylor,
yeah,
Sutters,
Jonathan Taylor.
Nelson,
Who's the guy that was in trouble for steroids when he was at USC? He went to Don Bosco.
Brian Cushing.
Yeah, Brian
Brian
Cushing.
Cushing.
Like all these guys, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a million other recruits.
Well,
So I
even still
apologize.
playing when we were there, Alquan Muhammad.
Malcolm Jenkins, Ryan Davis. Anthony Davis, both from Piscataway. Actually, I was in the army with a dude.
Jenkins,
I was in the I was in the army with a dude who actually played running back with that team, and I mean I'm not going to mention his name, but he actually had said that Malcolm Jenkins was jaded that Rutgers didn't even offer him, and then he ended up going to Ohio State, playing an extensive career in the league with the Saints and the Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and he could very well have a Hall of Fame resume. And
So is
we didn't even offer him.
so is Kyle Wilson. He was on the Jets.
Yeah.
He played big in Boise State. He had an incident too with Piscataway where something happened. I don't know if it was his older brother or younger brother, or that might have been Malcolm Jenkins. There was some I guess resistance there, them not wanting to come. I mean, Rashawn Gary, Jabril Peppers pulled. I mean, he was Piscataway. We tried pulling him, and then he went to.
I mean, Will, what's his name? Will
Will Hill.
Hill. He
Will
went
Hill's
to
a big
Florida.
one.
He was from Newark.
Yeah,
Um,
Brett Nelson was a big one we tried getting forever. O lineman on the Colts, who's been a monster.
where's he from?
He's from Homedale, so he went to Notre Dame. He was good friends with
Wait,
Joe Klecko's son. When Joe Klecko's son came here,
Quentin Nelson is from New Jersey?
yeah, he's Homedale. His mom was
No fucking way. Oh, that makes me
yeah, he went to
sick to my
Notre Dame.
stomach.
Yeah, Notre
That makes me
Dame.
sick. I had no idea. I mean, I know who he is. He's an absolute legend at guard. Oh, that makes
So
me
he was
ill.
at all the Rutgers camps. So him and Joe Klecko's son were best friends. They played at RBC. That's
Mm-hmm.
he's from Homedale. They all went to Red Bank Cabin.
Jeez.
Joe Marino's from my neck of the woods. Donnie
I
Brown.
mean, we'll talk about
Donnie
this
Brown grew up
tomorrow.
down the street from me. So I mean, Donnie Brown's parents still lived on my street.
I mean, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but I mean, I was listening to TKR the other day, and they're saying that Pike hasn't offered Quincy Doobie's son.
I
And
would
I heard that, and I'm like,
have
come
loved to get
on,
Carmelo
man.
Anthony's son.
Yeah, but I don't care about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony didn't play for Rutgers. Quincy Doobie is arguably, I would say, probably the best Rutgers player that we've had in the last 30 years.
Lifetime, yeah. I mean, Dylan Harper's putting up numbers.
Yeah, but he was only there for a season, so you can't really compare that. I'm not taking anything away from Dylan, but it's just, oh man, it's just, we got to. I loved the old original concept. I don't even think it was a Shiano concept. I think either a Kyle Flood. I think it was a Kyle Flood concept. It was fence the garden. I want to find one of those T-shirts that just has a fence around New Jersey. It's like, stop letting these other programs come steal our bros. We got goons here. We got bros here. Like, why
No.
can't we keep them?
I mean, it's been. I think last season was tough, but I mean, for the most part, I think Pike Hell's done a good job. Recruiting guys. I'm glad we kept guys like Geo Baker, your McConnells. We were able to get guys like Yaboa, Miles Johnson. I mean, losing Cliff was tough. I did actually laugh. I was with someone who worked for the team. I can't say any names, but I was asking. He's like Cam Spencer. He said is the most competitive person I've ever met. He said most competitive every single thing. It could be shooting pumping up paper balls and throwing them in a trash can. He's competitive about every single thing, and it kind of gave me that Jordan mentality. But losing guys like Cam Spencer and Cliff, and then watching them prosper in other programs too is just
Win a championship in UConn.
yeah, sickening.
Yeah. Go to Alabama and be a top 15 team and make it to the tournament. That was pretty sick.
Well, how do you?
I will say this though. I mean, I love what Cliff did for us, and not to dive too much into hoops, but I feel like they tried really hard to run the offense through him, and that was a huge mistake. He just didn't have the offensive capabilities aside from he was perfect. He was the perfect dirty work center. Blocks, get dunks, get boards. That's it. But then I feel like once they tried to have him do too much. He was like, they were feeding him in the post constantly. He didn't really have a whole lot of post acumen. It was just kind of weird. But I guess, well, since we don't have any football riders to speak of, we got the game tomorrow against, I think, who the heck do we play tomorrow in hoops?
Delaware State.
Yeah, Dell State. Who do you think
And
who's your riders for Dell State?
gotta go Tariq Francis. He played big, and you know what? They didn't start him.
That's such a recency bias, you coward.
Well, they didn't even start him last game. If I really had to go deep down in my heart, he's playing good at defense. He's been shooting well. I love Jermichael Davis. If not, I feel like you got to go Dylan Grant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was like, I want to pick Dylan Grant because this man has fallen off the face of the planet as of late, and I don't know what the deal is with him. But so,
One,
you said you got Tariq. So you got Tariq, and you got what? Dylan.
yeah. You know what? Actually, I'll
All
change
right.
it. If I have to do an impact coming off, he's my favorite guy to go in. I wish he got more burn, and he just brings the energy. Nawuli. I love watching.
Yes, dude. Yes,
Nawuli's I think my personal like favorite. I mean, Dortch is
bro. I'm not gonna
great.
lie. We'll talk big hoops tomorrow, bro. Bro, this season's fucking over. Right? Let's just play
I'm
them
the
all.
Big Ten.
I want.
I'm
Yep.
the big.
I want them all to play. I want to see Javante Ware. I want to see Bryce Dortch. I want to see Chris Newuli. I want to see all of the young kids, bro. Like what? Like there is nothing
Lino.
left.
Lino's
There's
tenacious. I like when he
there's
gets
nothing
in.
left for us to try to prove. You know what? I had such high hopes for Emmanuel Ogbole. If he doesn't play a minute for the rest of the season, I probably will lose a grand total of 0 minutes of sleep. It's just he just can't he can't figure it out. He can't put it together. I just don't get it.
Yeah, but the guy that backs him up, it's hard to watch him play too. Bay.
No, Bayfall. No, no, forget him
Yeah,
too. He can't play. So yeah, absolutely. We're just gotta. I want us to run small ball. That's it. I want us to run small ball the rest of the season. We're gonna have Javante Ware at center. We're gonna have Bryce Dortch at power forward. We're gonna have Chris Newuli at small forward, but we're gonna have him coming off the bench. We're gonna have Dylan Grant starting at small forward, and then at shooting guard we'll have Tariq, and then we'll have Jermichael starting at point guard, and then we can rotate in what's his name with the crazy
Lino,
hair, Lino
Lino.
Mark, and then who's the shooting guard that can shoot?
Zerno's
Like,
the ZRN.
no, no, not the Euro. He's the American kid. Shit, I don't remember his name. But anyways, yeah, and then you just have the Euros come off the bench and just shoot the ball. I mean, they can't shoot for shit anyways. Our 3 point
Oh,
percentage.
Buchanan's good. Buchanan has a nice shot. That's
Oh
where.
yeah, you're right. He does. Yeah, Buchanan's done well. Yeah, but he can come off the bench too. Play good D. He can play good D. We just got to run small ball, man. Emmanuel Ogbole, he's in my eyes, he's had a million opportunities to try to right the ship. He's 26 years old. He's a grown man playing against not fully developed grown men. He's got 4% body fat. He's 6'10", 6'11", and he doesn't dunk on people. Like, why can't he just dunk on people? Just dunk on somebody. Like they're all like he didn't even play against Penn because I mean
Yeah, only the first few minutes.
I understand why he didn't play because Penn was killing us with the more agile big men who were hitting threes. But that being said, the rest of the season, aside from his 1 or 2 games where he had the double double and he played really well against we'll call a spade, lesser competition. Emmanuel Ogbole, we need this man. We need him to do astronomical things, and I just don't think that he's able to do it. And it's upsetting because I don't ever want anybody. I don't ever want to root against anybody at Rutgers, and I've never rooted against anybody at Rutgers. Obviously, I'm pretty critical of people that I feel like should or could be playing better, but he just I knew he was a project, and I'm not mad that Pikeal took a chance on him. But if we don't see something spectacular here in the near future, like I said earlier, this season is already off the rails. And I hate being a Debbie Downer, but we need to play the young kids that have promise. Otherwise, we're going to be in the same situation next here in what 8 months, trying to reconstruct an entire roster through the transfer portal and then we have a bunch of incoming recruits that are unproven and we're going to be in the exact same spot. We need to stop the bleeding, more or less, is I guess the way I want to explain it.
Also, what does this mean? The last of the Big Ten. What does this mean now for someone like Amari Wooten coming in? big recruit, signed, earlier in this fall. What does it mean for him and other prospects coming in?
You're not going to want to come. Why would you want to come? That's what I'm saying. So this is the only way. All right. So this is how I foresee, us stop the said bleeding is listen, we gotta pick a path. Either we try to scrape together one or two extra wins that aren't guaranteed, or play the young kids so that way these young dudes can come in and see like, hey, listen, maybe the team's not the best right now, but I'm not gonna ride the bench as a freshman. I'm gonna get TV exposure because we already know how it is with the fucking NIL. Oh, am I going to be on TV? And I'm not saying that every player, every young kid is selfish, but I think it would be naive to think, okay, well, I mean, it's the era of the NIL. I'm a high 4-star recruit coming to a basketball team that plays in the Big Ten. There's gonna be televised games. Whether we're losing by 30 in these televised games or not is at that point a moot point. Can I at least get some burn on maybe a not maybe a subpar team? You know what I'm saying? But
I'm
but
wondering.
yeah, so you got Tariq and you say Grant.
Yeah, I feel like those are the two most sturdy. Well, unless I'm gonna go those two tomorrow. I'm sure it will
I'm
change.
gonna go I'm gonna go Bryce Dortch and I'm gonna go Grant just because I want Grant bad to to be elite. He had
Grant,
flashes.
I want Grant to be putting up the 20 a game. That's. I mean, listen, he's got the size, the athletic ability. He can score. He can score. Free throw line, I don't feel as
Listen, I
uh,
don't need
good.
I'll take him going with 15. Give me 15. 15 and 7. Good D. That's what
I
we
feel like
need.
he's
But
like surprisingly long too.
he is. He's got some length.
People
But
off.
all right, partner. Well, until tomorrow, I guess we'll reconvene and we'll talk. We'll chop hoops tomorrow. Any closing statements you want to say about football before we get up out of here?
You know what? Yes. Wishing Jet Elon and DT Sheffield all of luck in their next. I don't know if it's the Senior Bowl game or the
Yeah,
who.
Ethan's playing in that game too. He got invited. He accepted it too. So yeah,
So
I mean, absolutely. I hope they put up. I hope they put up stats. You know, and I hope they end up on an NFL team.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not going to sit here and wish anyone ill. That's played for Rutgers. We like I said, we've been pretty tough on them this season. Um, but it is what it is. We want the program to be good, and we can't sit here and be a part of the fan base that's like, oh yeah, well, we'll get it figured out next season. We'll get it figured out. It's just no, like we need it. We we want results, and we want to show some signs of progression. But yeah, I mean, I hope they all three of them blow up, and I hope they get invites to either the combine or I hope they come back for pro day and put up some good numbers on pro day. I think DT Sheffield will, and I honestly think Jed Elad will put up good physical numbers at pro day if he does not get a combine invite. But hey, until tomorrow, my man's. Take it easy, and to all the riders out there, we'll hope for a W tomorrow, and we'll talk basketball to catch up on what we've missed so far.
Absolutely. Go
All
Knights.
right, partner. Have a good one. Go Knights.
You too.